Hey everyone, Christian Jason here. Today I am at the world famous Custom Models KO Boxing Gym in Catskill, New York, formerly known as the Catskill Boxing Club. And today we're going to be going over the Peekaboo style for beginners, day one. I'm going to be showing you guys what day one looks like for a beginner in the Peekaboo style. Shout out to Nate who volunteered to help me make this video. Thank you so much, Nate. I really appreciate it, brother. So the first thing we're going to go over is the stance. So you're going to see I'm going to push on him a little bit, checking his balance. You're going to notice he's going to adjust his feet. Your rear leg has to be pivoted out. You want to keep it pivoted out so you're able to pivot in on that power shot. Also leaning slightly forward. So you're putting the weight on the balls of your feet. You don't want to stand too tall because you then put the weight on your back heels. You'll lose your balance, and you also, if you're standing too tall, you won't be able to slip. So lean slightly forward. Elbows in, protecting the body. Knees are slightly bent. You don't want them bent too much, and you never want to lock them out. Chin down, eyes up. Chest and shoulders is where you're looking on your opponent because that's where the punches are coming from.
Direct your vision. Do you look the guy in the eye? Do you try to keep the whole form?
Because his face can't hit me. So I only watch right here. Watch his face.
Your wrists are going to be straight. And your shoulders, you want them nice and relaxed. Don't shrug your shoulders up. And your fists, and especially your gloves, you want them right underneath your cheekbones. You don't want them above your eyes because you block your peripheral vision. You won't see any punches coming. This first move you're going to see me do here is called the knee bend. It's your first defensive move against straight punches. Notice my rear foot as I'm pivoting in as I'm going down, and I'm pivoting out as I'm coming back up. Keeping a nice slight bend in the knees, not locking my knees out, and keeping tight defensive form throughout the movement. Mistakes I see fighters make in the beginning is that as they're going down, the elbows will tend to flare out and the chin will start to come up. So you want to really keep tight defensive form. We're going to show you guys an example of when you would do the knee bend and what punch it's a great setup for. So if your opponent throws a jab or a straight rear hand, you would simply do that knee bend and it sets up beautifully for a straight rear hand to the body. So you'll see me do it here in just a moment. So you do the knee bend and that straight rear hand to the body. It's a beautiful setup, and you could even go back up to the head with it. This next move we're going to get into, in my experience training people, this has got to be the hardest movement to master, is the full twist. It requires a lot of balance and coordination, a lot of torque from the hips, and it's very humbling in the beginning, I could tell you that. You got to keep tight defensive form when doing this movement. And also where you start, you want to finish off the same place that you start. So you're going to notice when he goes to his left, he's coming back the same way. When he's going right, he's coming back the same way. He's not doing like a full circle. And mistakes I see people make in the beginning is that they're hopping all over the place. You know, they're not landing in the same spot. You want to do the best that you can to land in the same spot. You don't want to do too many of these because you will get dizzy. The number we aim for is 5 on each side, and that's going to equal out to 10. And you're probably wondering when you'd actually do the full twist. And I'm going to show you guys when you could apply this. So if you get a slick boxer, he's on the ropes, he happens to get away from you real fast, this is when you could apply that full twist. That's what it was intended for. Also, a lot of guys say, hey, I could just go into southpaw. Now, southpaw is great, but a lot of guys don't know how to fight in southpaw. And orthodox, if I bring that lead leg around, I get tagged. And like Cuss would say, the punch you don't see coming is the one that knocks you out. So in this particular case, you could use the full twist. The next move we're getting into is defensive move, which is slipping. When would you slip? Against straight punches and uppercuts. Slipping is all from the waist. Keep in tight defensive form. Like I was mentioning before about leaning slightly forward, you have to lean slightly forward. You can't stand too tall because you won't be able to slip. You just got to lean slightly forward. And you're slipping outside your opponent's shoulders. That's it. Keep in tight defensive form. And take it slow, guys. Don't worry about the speed. It's all about your form.
No, fight back and forth like this. Okay. I'm not a creator. What I do is discover and uncover. See, my job is to take the...
Now we're going to incorporate that knee bend we did earlier with the slipping. So with the knee bend, the key with the knee bend is you don't want to come straight up to the middle like I'm doing there with the knee bend because you'll get tagged. Don't stay in the middle. Get off the center line. So you want to make your opponent think you're going to be there, and that last split second is when you're going to slip over. So you're going to see us do it here. Notice how he's not coming straight up in the middle. He's making me think he's going to be there in the split second. That's when he's slipping over. Also, you do not want to slip too early off the knee bend because you'll get timed, you'll get tagged. And again, tight defensive form, leaning slightly forward. And it's all about the form. Don't worry about the speed. Get that form down. See that? Don't come straight up in the middle because you'll get tagged. Just like that. Do a couple more of these. In the peekaboo style, we learn the defense first because it sets up your offense. That's it. Nice and slow, just like that. This next defensive move we're going to get into is the weaving. So you're going to see him, he's going to weave and he's going to hook right away. That would be more on the intermediate level. For beginners, you just want to work on weaving the hooks. With weaving, it's all about your legs. It's making that imaginary U shape, keeping tight defensive form. And notice how his eyes are on me. He's not bringing his head down where he's looking down at the ground. His eyes are always on me. And he's coming up to draw the next punch. And he's weaving under and toward my hook, weaving outside my shoulders. You don't want to weave too low to where you're not drawing nothing, which I'm going to show an example of what not to do. So see how I'm low there. If you're too low, you're not drawing nothing in. Your opponent's going to measure you out, and he's going to tag you. He's going to create some range, some distance, and he'll tag you. But if you weave and you draw something, you make him think you're going to be there, that's when you make him miss, make him pay. Don't lock those knees out. Nice slight bend in the knees and using the legs. Your legs should be burning when doing these.
And then when it comes to roaring blaze, I pour huge logs on. And then you really got a fire going. That's what I do with these boys. See, that's what I try to do. Outside of my right hand.
Now we're going to get into the springing. So, Cuss would say
it's always good to throw the punch where you could hit him, he can't hit you. That's what the science of boxing is all about.
It's not always about moving your head, but also moving your feet. So with springing, when I spring to the left, my opponent's right side, you want to push off that rear foot and you want to put the weight on that lead leg so you would throw a left hook to the body. That would be your first punch. So you're going to see him here. He's going to push off that rear foot and he's going to put all the weight on that lead leg. Now, you notice how he sprung a little bit too far out. You don't want to spring too far out because you overreach. And also, your opponent could hit you, and he could pivot off you. So see here, he could hit you, and he could pivot off you. So we need proper range and distance for that left hook. We don't want to be too close because we smother ourselves, and we don't want to be too far because we overreach. When you spring to the side, you want to stay low. You don't want to be high because you could still get hit. So stay low. Another thing is when you're springing, don't drag your feet. Pick both feet up. Springing, it's all about getting there fast. You don't want to drag the one foot because it's like a ball and chain on you. You just got to slow yourself down. So you spring, stay low. Just like that. When springing right, it's, in my experience of when I seen fighters, springing right was always harder than springing to the left because when you spring right, you got to push off that lead leg and simultaneously bring the rear leg forward, and you're putting yourself in a position to throw that rear straight power hand to the body. And again, staying low, not being too close where you smother yourself, and not being too far where you're overreaching. Keeping tight defensive form, and whatever punch you throw, you want to keep that opposite hand up, not giving up defense for offense. You would hear Kevin Rooney say it to Mike if you watch the sparring videos of the fights, get to the side, get to the side. That's what he was referring to, the springing. Now, this is toward the end of the video. This is going to be the last thing we do, which is the basic boxing footwork. A lot of you guys already know this, but we cover this day one for beginners. And you see I'm doing steps at a time. So as I'm going back, it's rear leg first, then the lead leg. As I'm going forward, it's lead leg first, then the rear leg. So you see he's going forward, lead leg first, and then the rear leg. And however much one foot moves, the other foot has to move the same amount. One foot can't move more than the other. This keeps you in the proper stance because in case you have to suddenly stop, you're able to throw your punches. You got good balance, you're in proper positioning. So he's going back, I'm going forward. One of the mistakes I see beginners make is that they look down at their feet. You never want to look down at your feet. I always joke around with people. I say, hey, don't look down at your feet. They're not going to run away from you. Don't worry about them running away on you. They'll be there. And you want to keep tight defensive form. So now he's going to go to his left. I'm going to go to my right. I'm going to step with my right leg first. He's going to step with his left leg first. Just like that, one step at a time. And however much the one leg moves, the other leg has to move the same amount. Now I'm going to go to my left. He's going to go to his right. For me, it's left leg first. For him, it's right leg first. So I'm going to my right. I can't bring my left leg first because it'll cross. My legs will cross, and then I won't be in a position to throw a punch. So if you're going to the left, left leg first. You're going to the right, right leg first. You're going back, rear leg first. You're going forward, lead leg first. And now we're going to put it all together. I'm going back, he's going forward. He's going back, I'm going forward. Now we're going to go to the side. I'm going to my right, he's going to his left. He's going to his right, I'm going to my left. And this is a great beginner's drill for footwork. Footwork is so important. Extremely important. And that's it. That's going to end this video, guys. I hope you liked it. Be sure to like it, share it, comment on it. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you guys want more videos like this, be sure to let me know in the comment section below. We are keeping custom model style and legacy alive, one video at a time. Thank you so much, guys. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.